Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video on Balboa. Inside of this video, I'll be showcasing the Sunken rod, because if you guys don't know, this is like by far the rarest rod inside the game. I would say this rod is even harder to get than the no life rod, because I've only seen a total of 2 people have this rod, and the whole time that it's been out like over a week, and I've only seen 2 people with it. And yeah, dude, this rod nobody has. Now, they did increase the chance to get treasure maps, so more people will probably end up getting this rod. But yeah, I'm not gonna lie, the rod is definitely pretty good. You guys can see the stats right here: 30 lure speed, 150% luck, 0.15 control, 15 resilience, match KG of 5,000. The really only bad thing about it is going to be the match KG. 5,000 is kind of whatever, but it's not bad at all. These are actually really good stats. The only bad thing about the stats, I would say, is the lure speed, but because you have so much resilience and control, you're low-key fine. All that you're going to want to do is put hasty on this rod, so the only downside is that you can't get abyssal on this rod. That's really the only downside of this rod, is you can't get abyssal, but I don't know for sure, but I do know that there is a mutation called Sunken. Now, I don't know if you did it only from treasure maps or if you did it from the rod, but I guess we'll see inside of this video. But yeah, you guys see the stats are actually really good. It's basically a rod of depth stats, just with more resilience and slightly more luck. And the lure speed really doesn't matter, because you can just get hasty on it and you'd be perfectly fine. You could still get instant catch, because if you get hasty and then use a rapid catcher, you guys literally could get instant catch, which is pretty nice. So yeah, I mean, we're gonna be showing the rod inside of this video, so if you guys do end up enjoying it, like and subscribe. I don't think I'll be going down into the depths inside of this video. The depths, it's still good, it's just not, I don't know what they did to it. You guys might have seen my last video where I was talking about the rod of the depths. But yeah, they did something to the depths, because I'm just not catching anything. Now, keep in mind, goldfish is still absolutely terrible. Like, goldfish sucks as well. There's not really a good spot to farm money in the current moment. If I find one, I'll let you guys know. But I do think the depths is still going to be the best way to farm money, but it got nerfed. Something about it 100% got nerfed, because it's just not nearly as good as it was. So I'm going to fish here to see if this mutation is even a thing, because honestly, I have no idea if Sunken mutation is from the rod itself, because if so, that would be crazy, because apparently the Sunken mutation sells for like 8x or something. So if it comes from the rod itself, then this rod is completely brain dead. If it doesn't come from the rod, then this rod is kinda just whatever. It has a 25% chance to get treasure maps more often, but that would basically be all that it would do, which would make it like, I mean, it would be alright. The stats aren't like that crazy for it to not give a mutation. If all that it does is gives treasure maps more, then it kind of defeats the purpose of the rod, because the only thing that you're really wanting from treasure maps in the first place is done to be the Sunken rod. So I have no idea. But if you can get fish with Sunken mutation, apparently the Sunken mutation sells for 8.5x. So if you end up getting that from this rod, which I guess we'll see in like a few more catches, then that would be like insane. If you don't, then this rod is just like, it's the stats are definitely better than trident, but I would say the trident ability and the fact that it has a Lantean definitely is going to make trident better. But I would say it's basically like right below trident if it doesn't have the mutation. If it has the mutation, then it's 100% above trident, 100%, because that Sunken mutation sells for 8.5x. Now, as far as design wise, I would say this is probably the best rod inside the game. I really like this, like, symbols bouncing around. The green is actually a pretty good green color. Most games always have the worst green colors I've ever seen, but this one's actually pretty good. So yeah, but I actually don't think it does give you the Sunken mutation. So with it doing that, basically all this rod does is give you a 25% higher chance to get the treasure maps, which is, I mean, it's okay. But let's be real, nobody's really going to go farm treasure maps after they already get the rarest part about it. So yeah, I don't really know how to feel about this rod. It's definitely a dead rod. I would say it's worse than Trident, because Trident does have a Lantean as a mutation. If Trident didn't have a Lantean as a mutation, then I would say this rod is going to be better. It's obviously worse than Rod of Depths and No Life Rod, so that would put this rod in around the number 4 spot. Stat-wise, it's pretty high up. But yeah, that's basically all that it has going for it, is the stats, the luck, and things like that. 150% luck with option to get insta-attach and things like that is really, really good, with a decent sized bar, 15 resilience, and okay max KG. It's definitely not bad in any way, shape, or form, but at the same time, it really needed the Sunken mutation to kind of make it, good, but it doesn't have the Sunken mutation. So, yeah, I mean, the rod's okay. Don't get me wrong, the rod is okay. It's not the craziest rod inside this game for sure. I would definitely put it top 5. Because it used to be way worse. Like, it used to be way, way, way worse. And then they buffed it. It's pretty good now, stat-wise. Like, stat-wise, it's 100% pretty good. They said every 10 catches, you get 25% luckier chance to get the treasure map. So, I mean, yeah, it's cool. But like I said, it's definitely not the craziest rod inside the game because it does not have options to get the Sunken mutation. If it had that option, then 100% I would say it would be crazy. It would be an insane rod. But it doesn't. So, I mean, it's okay. It's definitely not a bad rod. Don't get me wrong. It's not a bad rod. But is it worth the trouble of getting the rarest rod in the game for it? No. No, 100% no. I've seen some people where they're literally have done like 50, 60, 70 treasure maps and they still haven't gotten the rod. So the fact that people can do all of that and not get this rod, I'm sure there's someone that's already down like 200 and doesn't have this rod. I just don't think that's personally worth it. If you guys think that it's worth it, because yes, treasure maps do give you other stuff and things like that as well, then maybe. And maybe it does have the mutation on it, and it's just literally, like, impossible. Like, it's, like, 2% or something. But then at that point, it might as well just not exist, because you're, like, gonna get it on, like, a bait crate or something. I don't know. I feel like just because the rod doesn't have the option to run Abyssal because it needs Hasty, kind of like how Trident does, makes it a little worse for sure. And not only that, it doesn't really have an ability. Nobody really cares about treasure maps after you get the Sunken rod. So yeah, my own opinion, I would give this rod like a solid 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10. In terms of stats, it's insane. Don't get me wrong. In terms of stats, it's absolutely crazy. But we're into the current point in Fish where now we're more so looking at the abilities of the rod more than the actual stats. Because of like, a rod can come out with insane stats. Don't get me wrong. Like, there could be a rod eventually that comes out that has just insane stats. But if it has a terrible ability, it will always lower the actual, like, how good the rod is. Because now we're in the current point of Fish where the ability actually really, really matters into your rod. Because, like, the no life rod, like I was saying in my last video, it has a mutation. It has the trident ability. But in terms of an actual, like skill, it's not that good. The no life rod mutation Hexed doesn't sell for that much more, and then the trident ability, I'm not gonna lie, is kind of just like unnecessary. It's not really 100% needed on any rod. Does it make it easier to catch? Yes, but that's about all that it's gonna do for you. So that's why I personally think even the no life rod isn't even that crazy of a rod. We're eventually going to see a rod that has really good stats, probably something like this, with an insane ability. For example, like the Rod of Depths I would say is basically like on par with a no life rod because of the ability being as crazy as it is. And it's not even that crazy of an ability. Like, eventually we will see a rod with a crazy ability that just absolutely carries it, and it will be better than no life rod, unless if they end up changing the no life rod in the near future, because like I said, the abilities of the rod is going to be what's going to carry it, and Sunken Rod just doesn't have that power because its only ability is every 10 catches you get a higher chance to get treasure maps, and treasure maps isn't that good. So the Sunken Rod, like I said, I would put it top 4, but it's not 3, 2, or 1 for sure. Stat-wise, it could be number 2, because it is basically right below No Life Rod. But yeah, that's basically going to be it for this video. It's definitely a good rod. Would I grind for it, though? Probably not. It doesn't seem that worth it in terms of, like, should you grind for it. But it is still, don't get me wrong, it is still a very, very, very good rod. If you guys ended up enjoying this and found it helpful, let me know down inside the comment section down below what video you guys want next, as well as subscribe to the channel, because once we hit 50k, I'm going to be doing a giveaway for some game passes. But yeah, that's it for me. I'll see you guys at the next one. Peace.